Okay, here we go. All right, now we're live. Let's see. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Of course, I had a little technical difficulty. I set up this live broadcast and I had forgotten to put it on public. So I was sitting here talking to myself for a while. Yeah. You know, we still have some aspects to Neptune happening with Mercury and Mars, and I'm Neptunian in nature, so Neptune energy can make us all like spacey. Oh my gosh. Yes, good morning. Hi. Hey, everybody. Good morning and afternoon. Oh, I see Oche's here. Hey, how you doing? All right, guys. So what's going on today? Well, for those of you who haven't tuned in to me before, because we always have new people tuning in on our channel, I'm April, and I'm with Astrologer.com. And I know some people get confused when we set up these live videos, and in the thumbnail, it shows Lada's picture. Well, you know, YouTube and Google still have some bugs to work out, I think, because they kind of make these things a little complicated. You know, so anyhow, so yes, it's me. If you're looking for Lada, she will have her own broadcast this weekend, I'm sure. But yes, I'm April. I'm with Astrologer.com, and this is my weekly show that I do every Friday, where I go over the astrology forecast from one Friday to the next. So I'm doing this for June 30th through July 7th of 2017. And I also add my own little twist at the end, my coffee talk, which means I talk about celebrity stuff that's going on in the news, anybody who's a topic right now of discussion. Some people say, well, why celebrities? And they're fake. No, they're actually human beings with souls. Thank you very much. They actually have astrology charts too. They go through transits that can cause them to do crazy things, or, you know, things that we're curious about as far as their behavior. So that's why I like to talk about them as a learning tool for people who want to learn about astrology. Astrology shows us human behavior, right? It shows us human behavior, how we react to what goes on around us. And when you study astrology, you know that everything is energy. The planets, they give off energy. We are energy. So we receive this. We're like radios walking around receiving these invisible waves. And how we choose to respond to what we're receiving is really up to us. And that's why, excuse me, that's why I like to talk about human behavior. Like, why are people acting like this? Let's take a look, see here. So yeah, hey everybody. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started on the astrology for the week. Well, first, I'll let you guys know ahead of time, because I know some people are like, I don't really care about celebrity. Well, who I'm going to be talking about at the end is, by viewer request last week, Johnny Depp and Amanda Bynes. I'll be looking into their charts and maybe talk about a little other stuff that I've seen going on, little fun stuff. So now let's get to the astrology, shall we? To the weather reports. Let's do that. Okay. So between the 30th and the 7th of July, I would say one of the biggest things is actually today we have Mercury opposite Pluto. So how is that affecting us? Well, I'm not going to go through every sign, but I am going to let you know as a collective how this aspect is affecting all of us. The good and the bad. I always give both sides. So Mercury is our thoughts. It's our communication. It's our speech. It's what we do with our hands. And it's in the sign of Cancer. Very emotionally driven Cancer. Okay? So even if you're not a Cancer, you can still be feeling the energy of Mercury being in Cancer, at least a smidgen of it, okay? A splash of that into your world. So how we can be thinking is more emotionally driven, just by Mercury being in Cancer. And remember I talked about last week, guys, I talked about Cancer season because we have all these planets in Cancer right now. They're going to start shifting, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But while there's such like an abundance of Cancer energy, it's so funny because right after I signed off of our live broadcast last week, and I was talking about how Cancer season is going to have, if you go on your social media accounts, people are going to be so soggy and sappy, and people are going to start saying, well, I'm going to clean off my friends list on Facebook, or I'm going to start unfollowing people, and they're going to be making announcements of these emotional things that they're doing, and people are going to start saying, well, no one cares about me, and I'm tired of doing things for other people, and nobody does anything for me. And guess what? As soon as I signed off, I went on Facebook. I saw 3 posts like that from Cancer energy people in my world, and I couldn't help but laugh. And I'm like, you know, you guys can't help yourselves. It's just the energy that's going on right now. And it's like, especially if you're a Cancer person, you're a 4th house person, you're really going to feel the intensity of emotions, and it's going to make you start thinking about stuff like that. Like, who's really there for me? And, you know, Cancers give a lot. They're big givers. They have big hearts. They give. And when other people don't give back in return, they get really upset. Okay. So yeah, I did notice that. And I did, you know, there were friends of mine and family members. So of course I commented, kind of, they know me and I make fun of people, but not to be cruel. It's like, that's my way of showing love, is kind of poking fun at things and making light of situations. So yeah, I poked fun at them a little bit, and they laughed with me because they know I mean no harm. But it was still just so hilarious to me that I spoke about it, and then bam, there it is. So anyway, Mercury in Cancer, yes, people could be thinking like that. I've even found myself a few times when I've heard like someone talking on you know, a media outlet or something that I know, I'm like, wait a second, are they talking about me? Because Cancer energy, Mercury in Cancer, can make us think on these more like personal, emotional terms, to where we're like, oh my gosh. And then, you know, Cancer energy is very protective. It has that shell. So Cancer energy can make you think and feel like very protective of yourself, of your soft inner emotional self. So you could really take offense to things and want to, you know, protect yourself, like the crab claws, you know. So yeah, we could be feeling like that just in general with Mercury being in the sign of Cancer. Very defensive, protective, emotional, and taking things very personal. But here's the thing, here's the kicker that's with this transit. Mercury in opposition to Pluto. So Pluto is in Capricorn. I see some of you guys talking about Cancer and Capricorn in the comments. We've got an opposition here between emotional Cancer and non-emotional, more work and earthy, grounded, focused Capricorn. But Pluto itself is a planet of, first of all, like the deep psychological thoughts that we may have. Yeah, Cancers can pinch. I am married to one. I get pinched all the time. Not literally, but, you know, metaphorically, the Cancer pinch, especially during this season. Oh my God. But gotta love you guys. You're adorable. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so Mercury opposite Pluto. Here, I'm going to, I've been giving like a little bit of a warning, not to scare people, ooh, you know, not to be some scary witch, oh my God, casting evil spells and scaring people. No, it's not like that. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Mercury in opposition to Pluto can have people thinking more darker thoughts, to be quite honest. They can take their emotions, which is Cancer, to another level of depth that could be a little dangerous for some, you know, to where they're really paranoid and thinking the worst, like even extra more than they usually do. Or people that usually aren't very paranoid can become very paranoid. Pluto can rule paranoia, and also Cancer energy could be paranoid too. So yeah, there's that Mercury opposite Pluto can cause a little paranoia with some people. And it can cause them to kind of, you know, really take their emotional feelings to like a whole other level, I'm telling you. And then on the 2nd, we have Mars opposite Pluto. So we've already got Mercury and Mars together in Cancer. highly emotional charged energy. Mercury, your thoughts, your hands, your speech, paired with Mars, which is it's taking action. So a lot of us could be more action oriented, which I've been loving this energy for, because it's more of putting thoughts into doing instead of just sitting there, you know, and saying, oh, I'm thinking about this, but whatever, and letting the thoughts pass. No, you actually want to do what you're thinking about. So Mercury and Mars together is awesome for that. But on the flip side, Mars could be anger and aggression, and all this emotional Cancer stuff with speech, aggression equals blah, like just vomiting out volatile stuff people could be doing right now. And then in an opposition to Pluto, oh my gosh, that's like really wanting to sting someone, because don't forget, Pluto rules the sign of Scorpio. So scorpions can sting, right? And crabs can pinch. So people could be a little extra paranoid and defensive, and actually just be very, some people could be very volatile. I would say to watch out for that. The energy is pretty intense, especially if you are a Cancer or a Capricorn, because this is Pluto in your sign, and these are energies opposing you as well. So yeah, it's a very intense energy. So just watch out for the potential for more like violent thoughts, violent acts, being out of control with your emotions and just doing and not even thinking, because Cancer energy is more emotion than logic. So it'll just do, and like it'll feel and then just do. And there could be some negative consequences, unfortunately, with the opposition to Pluto it involved, especially. So the good about this transit, okay, so Mars and Pluto is extreme laser focus. Mars already is an arrow that's pointed at what it wants to do, the action it wants to take. And then with Pluto, it makes it like, it's sending an aspect to it of like, okay, you're going to become obsessed with what it is that you want to do, okay? I'm going to make you obsessed to the point that you have tunnel vision. You don't see anything else. You don't want to do anything else. You're just going to go and just do. And that could be great for accomplishing things, for staying focused. Also with Mercury in opposition to Pluto, this can make us want to kind of dig deeper into subjects and not have superficial conversations. You know, now the conversations can become more like in depth about people's fears and motives and feelings, and you know, what do you believe in? Do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? You know, studying human behavior a lot more, and maybe analyzing behavior, and you know, just on a more regular, real life level, maybe watching more of the ID Discovery Channel, you know, those shows. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Like, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the titles anymore, but like those crazy shows about, you know, women who are killing their husbands secretly and gaining riches off of it, and like all these shows really digging into some dark stuff, and like forensic files. You know, people's minds are going to be more intrigued by stuff like that, with Mercury in opposition to Pluto. I will also give the warning that it can make people a little more stalkerish, and you may, hopefully none of you have to deal with this, but some people can get a little weird with Mercury and Pluto. They can become obsessive to where they're like really tracking people down, finding hidden information about them, and maybe like exposing them because they feel some kind of way about them, because Cancer is all feels. Yes, thank you, Snapped. Okay, Sonia, you got it. Shows like Snapped, we may be more intrigued by them. But yeah, don't get stalkerish, guys, okay, especially towards exes, because Cancer is all about memories, holding on to memories of the past for the sake of comfort and not wanting to let go. And then combined with Pluto, hold on, I have to take a sip about that. Hold on. Oh, and I do have a new cup, guys. My sun sign is Taurus, so I have a Taurus cup, and I love the color. This is a really, really beautiful color. But anyhow, yeah, none of the stalkerish stuff, okay, guys? To any of you watching out there, and try to be mindful of the stalkerish stuff. Actually, this morning, you know, this Mercury and Pluto and Mars and Pluto stuff is like, it's already happening, and it's kind of like building up. And I had a friend message me this morning and say, beware of these Facebook accounts under these certain names, because it's a weirdo that's kind of spying on me or doing weird stuff. And I was like, wow, really? And so it begins. So it can either make your mind very keen towards hidden information in good ways. It's good for research and study, or if you are in a field that requires a lot of research, investigation, study, finding out hidden things, or in psychology, a field where you study the motives of beings, of human beings, and their behaviors and thoughts and all that good stuff. Yes, these transits are wonderful, wonderful for that. So, yes, somebody had a catfish. Exactly, Jessica. One of my friends did and messaged me and had 3 different accounts, said, do not add them, or if you've added them, delete them because they're a weird stalker. I was like, oh, girl, I feel bad for you. So, yeah. Anyhow, what else is coming up for us? We've got Venus moving into Gemini. And guess what? I'm going to go through every sign about the Venus and Gemini transit. I love Venus. I'm so excited about her energy. She's such a pleasant energy wherever she transits. There's not really too much bad you could say about Venus, you know? Well, except for going to extremes with overdoing Venusian things and being way too indulgent is Venus. But, you know, she's still a cool chick. I love Venus. So let's go through the signs. But first of all, Venus is going to move into Gemini on the 5th of July. Oh, and I'm going to tell you guys something. Since we're all about Mercury and Pluto truths here, it's something minor. It's not like a big, oh my God, secret. But when I was recording the July videos for every sign, which will come out in the next like day or two, I messed up on the dates, I noticed, for Venus going in Gemini. I said the 4th of July. It's actually the 5th when I went back to look at my ephemeris. So just letting you guys know, I messed up on the dates. My bad. But Mercury in trine to Neptune can cause a lot of brain fog. So there we go. It's actually the 5th of July that Venus moves into Gemini. So Venus in Gemini is so bouncy, fun, youthful. Oh my gosh. It's so much fun, Venus in Gemini. It's all about variety and trying new things. As far as Venus ruled stuff being in Gemini in general, well, Venus rules what we enjoy. So yeah, we will be more curious. Venus in Gemini is very curious. Curious about different stuff. Maybe wanting to try different foods, try different, you know, fashion, wearing different things that we don't usually do, doing our hair differently. And this goes for male and female. Venus is a feminine energy, but that's just energy, okay? Male and female energy can be not just based on gender, like genitalia, okay? You could be a male that possesses a lot of feminine energy. Maybe you've got a lot of Libra in your chart, which is ruled by Venus, or Taurus, or you've got a stellium of planets in a sign ruled by Venus, and you're a male physically. You could be feminine and Venus rule, all right? So just thought I'd throw that out there. Anyhow, but Venus rules feminine things like fashion and aesthetics, anything that you look at that you find beautiful, not just people, but things like makeup. I always have makeup around. I'm very Venus ruled. Makeup, if you enjoy a certain beverage, maybe you'll try new beverages. Maybe you'll try, you know, Venus rules relationships too. So some people may be very curious when it comes to relationships with Venus moving into Gemini, and maybe want to, you know, they're curious about this person, maybe like a person they see all the time. They never really thought about them in a romantic way, but now all of a sudden Venus and Gemini has them like, I wonder what they're like. You know, I wonder what it's like to go on a date with them and have a few drinks or have dinner and have a conversation. All that stuff is so Gemini. I have so many girlfriends who are Gemini energy, and that's their thing, is going out with people. And it's very emotionally detached, by the way, okay? You go out with people, you have drinks, you have a conversation over drinks, you have conversation over dinner or lunch or breakfast or brunch, all that stuff. Getting out and being social. Social butterfly energy is Venus and Gemini. It can be very enjoyable for especially air signs, fellow air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. You are really going to be feeling extra flirty and beautiful and like getting out there and socializing so much more. Or if you're a Sag, because seventh house. Venus is in your seventh house. But yeah, it's a very bouncy, fun energy. It's youthful. Maybe you may want to try going out and do some youthful things for fun. I just think bouncy when I think Gemini. So maybe literally going to one of those places where you can like jump on trampolines indoors and like jump into like those ball pits, like the pit of like all the plastic balls and stuff, you know, and play in there. Doing youthful fun stuff is Venus and Gemini. So I hope everybody enjoys the energy. Gemini on the negative side is gossip and living a double life. I'm all the way straight out with the information here, guys. It's living double lives, kind of thinking of people as toys is Gemini too. Playing with them like, well, I want to play with this person today because I'm bored. Okay, now they bore me and I want to go play with this person. Okay, now they bore me. I'm going to put them on the shelf. Now let me go play with this person. Oh, now I'm curious about them. Let me go over there. Okay, so that's Gemini energy when it comes to love and relationships. So I'm not saying that everybody is going to be tempted to be creeping out there, okay, and living a double life. Not everybody, but some people may, you know, may be tempted towards like forbidden fruit. You know what I mean? Like, because Venus will be eventually making a square to Neptune. Oh, I will be here to talk about that then. That's not for a couple of weeks, but yeah, we'll talk about Venus square Neptune and some creeping when that transit comes up. But just Venus and Gemini in general is so much fun. Just try not to be too curious to where you are disrespectful towards your relationship or anyone else's. But just, it's like double the fun and double the Venusian enjoyment with Venus and Gemini. So let's talk about Venus and Gemini through the signs. How is it affecting each sun, moon, and rising sign? Okay, first of all, Aries, Venus and Gemini, for Aries, sun, moon, or ascendant is in your third house. So this is a very fun social energy for Aries people. So you guys may feel that you guys are going to be feeling like enjoying yourself in a Gemini way. If you're single, you are going to want to be curious and dating different people, trying different things. Or even if you're already in a relationship, you'll feel like, hey, let's get out. You'll feel more adventurous in your relationship. Let's try some different things together. Use your imagination, you know what I mean? But it could be so innocent as, let's go out to these places we've never been before to go out and eat, because Venus does rule food and the five senses. Let's try something new. Let's give each other like a spa day and do each other's face masks and, you know, just try little new things that you never have done before within a relationship. If you're not about relationships, Aries, then this could be just you wanting to enjoy yourself in a way that incorporates more variety into your world, okay? And getting along a little bit better with people that you deal with day to day on a regular basis. That means like, okay, well, teammates is the third house. That can mean coworkers. You see them every day if you work like in that type of environment where you have a day-to-day schedule, day-to-day job you go to. It's also your siblings and cousins, like those relatives that usually, by the standards of the usual family structure, that don't really live in your home, but they may live around you and you see them often. Yeah, so you may get along better with them and feel like spending time with them and doing some fun stuff. So that's Venus in the third house for Aries. So for Taurus rising, sun, and moon, Venus and Gemini is in your second house. This is good news for Tauruses because this is Taurus territory. Because Taurus is the second sign of the zodiac. Taurus rules second house stuff, which is money, enjoyment, Venus stuff, aesthetics, beauty, arts, anything that you enjoy. Taurus rules all that. So anything that happens second house for Taurus, that's double the Taurus stuff, right? Venus is our ruler, is second house. Oh my gosh, it's really beautiful. Tauruses are lucky because we already have, we already have Venus and Taurus in our own sign, our ruling planet in our own sign for a while, bringing us all this Venusian enjoyment energy. So some Tauruses, it could have been difficult to stay out of like you know, the stores, going shopping and looking at beautiful things. It could have been so hard to resist sales. Oh my gosh, Tauruses, I feel you on that. So when Venus moves into our second house in Gemini, it's more of that energy. It's going to be harder to resist those sales, and we are going to feel like indulging and everything. So I would just give you a warning to not let that go out of control to where you do something damaging to your finances and your bank account. But if that's nothing for you to worry about, Taurus, oh my gosh, it's more lovely Venusian Taurus energy to go shopping, to buy those good foods, to maybe invest in like some art or something that you want to have aesthetically pleasing in your world. Venus in the second house can also be someone earning more money or finding a way to turn a hobby into money, like earning money. Or it can be a good time to ask for a raise in your job. Or it could be like a Venusian person coming along and helping to boost your income, or giving you ways to boost your income and assisting you in that way. So it's all about money and enjoyment for Taurus people with Venus moving into Gemini. So now, oh my God, I need a drink, hold on. All right, so now let's talk Gemini. So Gemini, Venus moving into your sign, OMG, so much fun, fun, fun. So you thought Gemini season was over. This is why you got to look at all the planets, because Venus is now entering your sign, Gemini. It's the last personal planet that's going to be transiting your sign for the rest of the year, I believe. So enjoy it to the fullest. Venus in your sign means beautifying yourself, your life. That means beautifying your appearance, or just your whole like perspective on life. You want it to be enjoyable and pleasurable and attractive. And so what can you do to make that happen, Gemini? That's going to be your focus. You guys are going to be wearing, Venus is the goddess of love and beauty. So Geminis are going to be like sprinkled with all this beauty. I know my Prince, these are my Prince moves right here. Prince was a lovely Gemini man who is all about beauty. He even wore makeup, but he was still so manly, he could get away with it. Oh, he was just gorgeous. But yes, Geminis are going to feel like this, like a sprinkle of princeness, like over them. Like, I just want to feel beautiful. I just want my world to be beautiful. I am attractive. And Geminis, you may start attracting people to you a lot more. People may be complimenting you more. And if you're not getting that, you're going to be on a quest for that. Like, maybe go shopping more, buy makeup, jewelry, do your hair, buy hats, sunglasses, stuff to make you feel like you look nice, okay, and you're attractive. So this is good news for all Gemini, single, taken, married, it's complicated. Whatever your situation, you're going to be so much more attractive to other people. So this is very awesome. So now for Cancer, Venus in Gemini is going into your 12th house. Gemini cusp. Oh, someone is asking, does this apply if you're Gemini cusp? Okay, so this is debated a lot in astrology, so I'm just giving you my take as an astrologer. There's no cusp. You're either in one sign or the other. You're either in 29 degrees of one sign or 0 degrees of the next. So you need to look at your birth time to see where you fall in the zodiac as far as your sun sign, if that's what you're asking, Amba. So next up, Cancer, woohoo! Venus in Gemini for you guys is in your 12th house. So I see, every time I see Venus in the 12th, the first image that comes to my Pisces moon mind is of a damsel in distress. I'm just being completely 100 about that. There's good to it too, okay? So just hold on, okay? I see damsel in distress. I see someone in a castle and they're looking out afar and they're just wishing they could have someone. They're dreaming of someone who's at a distance. Or maybe they feel like they're suffering and they want someone to come rescue them. Maybe they're in a relationship that's a loveless, you know, king that they're married to, and it's just set up, a marriage that's set up and there's no love, and they're dreaming out the window for that perfect love. Venus in the 12th can do that. It really can. So try to watch out, Cancers, especially if you are in a relationship already. You could be thinking the grass is greener elsewhere, somewhere way far away. And it could be unrealistic in nature at times, like idealistic. Just, oh, if so-and-so who I've met on the internet, if I could only meet them in person, they would be so much better than the man or the woman that I'm with already. If any of you guys start feeling this, just know that this too shall pass. Venus transits are temporary. They last only about a month. And maybe that person isn't as great as you think they are, okay? Maybe they're not really that much better than whoever you're with. It's just a phase that you could be going through with just wanting, yes, that knight in shining armor. That's what somebody is commenting. Dreaming of a knight in shining armor, or dreaming of a damsel yourself if you like women. Like, she has long flowing hair and she's gorgeous and she's perfect in my vision. And the woman I'm with, she bald-headed and she doesn't pay attention to her looks as much. So I'm dreaming out there of this other lady, when really the person you're with could be somebody solid. They could be somebody that's good for the long term, you know. Yes, the grass is greener syndrome can be Venus in the 12th. So that's the negatives of it. Watch yourselves. That is a creep in transit, like I call it, where people start wanting to do things on the down low, and they feel so victimized by their current situation or lifestyle that they need somebody to rescue them. So be careful with that, Cancers. But the good part, hold on, let me get a little more comfy. Cancer is about comfort here. So the good part of Venus in the 12th house, you know, the 12th house and Venus together is unconditional love. And it's reflection on love, which can get a little sappy at times, yeah, but it can be a good thing. Reflecting on love, you know, memories of love. And also the 12th house is Pisces type of stuff, which is art, which is enjoying movies and music and escaping through art and things that are beautiful. So this could be a beautiful time to enjoy yourself in that type of way for Cancers. Escaping through beauty. Yeah, going and seeing some good summer movies, if any of them are, I don't know if any good summer movies are out. It's, you guys tell me, but going to see some really good movies, could be good. But also, this is a Netflix and chill transit, and Cancers, at least the majority of Cancers I know, which are a lot, they love Netflix and chill. They love to just chill at home in their own little comfortable world and just zone out into some movies and get lost in the presence of their partner too, just kind of escaping reality with them in a good way. Yeah, that could be really good for enjoyment with Venus in the 12th for Cancers. But just watch out for that creeping damsel in distress stuff. Don't get caught up in it, Cancer, okay? We'll talk more about that in the next couple weeks. So on to Leo. Venus moving into Gemini on the 5th, on the 5th of July for Leo sun, moon, or ascendant. This is moving into your 11th house. So the 11th house is a very social energy. It's a very social house. It's all about networking with groups of people. It could be friends or it could be non-friends. It could be like just associates, acquaintances. That's the 11th house. It's finding your fellow tribe, your fellow aliens, the people that may be unique like you in whatever way you're unique, but you guys have that uniqueness in common. And I know that's very like contradicting, but the 11th house can be that way. So this is very social energy for Leo. So you guys can feel like getting out with your friends a lot more, and yeah, just getting out and socializing. Also networking. Networking is really good for Venus in the 11th house, especially social media networking. If you're a Leo there's a lot of jobs now that are based on social media. People do YouTube and blogging and vlogging and Instagramming and all that stuff for a living now. Isn't that crazy when you really think about it? But those jobs are very 11th house. So if you have a job like that, or you want that kind of a popularity, Venus moving into your 11th house is a really good time to boost that, you know, to really make a good impression on other people. So yeah, and also just within your social circles, Leo, They may view you in a more positive light, and Leos love to be viewed in a positive light. So there's a little extra dash of that when Venus moves into Gemini. So you guys are very, very lucky with that. But also, this is the 11th house of groups and friends, and Venus does represent romance and love. So some of you guys can maybe find love either within a group of friends or a friendship that you're already in. Maybe you can start looking at them in that curious Gemini way, like, I wonder about them. We've been friends for a while, but now they're starting to look good, you know what I mean? So it could be that, or maybe you can meet someone that's like a romantic interest to go on dates with while you're out socializing with people. That could be more of a, there's a bigger chance of that happening while Venus is in Gemini. So hope you guys have fun, Leos. It's a very fun transit for you. Okay, so now on to Virgo. Venus in Gemini is moving into your 10th house of career and social status and public image. So this is another transit to where you are, if you are a public person, if you put yourself out there publicly in any type of way, especially for career, people can start viewing you in a more positive light. And yeah, just looking at you like, wow, you know, really impressed by you, Virgo. So also, if you're a Virgo who's a very career-oriented Virgo, which a lot of you guys are, career and work focused, this could be a time where you are seen in a more positive light by higher ups, people in higher positions above you, positions of authority, like bosses or whatever. So you can start, you know, trying to schmooze, is that the word? Schmooze, whatever, up to them a little bit to kind of, you know, make a good impression on them, which can help you to maybe advance in career. And, you know, once we hit more of, oh yeah, okay, this is the last turn. Okay, sorry, talking to myself. But yeah, Venus in Gemini can help you to have a good, like, just a public image. And also, since Venus is enjoyment, the way that you guys enjoy yourselves, Virgo, can be a lot more like, I work very hard, which is the 10th house. So now it's time for me to play hard, which is like splurging on more top-notch things, like brands that are more, what's it called? Like high-end stuff. You may take more of an interest on higher-end stuff than usual, Virgos. And Virgos can usually be very frugal. But this is a transit where you may not be as frugal, Virgo. You may want the you may want the good stuff that's like, you know, the more expensive stuff. But anyhow, yeah, this can be a very good transit for career, Virgo. This is the last transit through Gemini for the year, except when we have a full moon in Gemini in December. But of course, that's far, far away. But as far as like the shorter term transits, this is the last one. So utilize that energy to the fullest to help to boost your career and boost the way that people see you in a public light for Virgo. Now for Libra, Venus is your ruling planet. For Venus, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant, and Venus moving into Gemini is your 9th house. This is also super fun energy because it's all about exploration, and it's like double the curiosity because Venus in Gemini alone is already very curious. And being in the 9th house is the house of exploration, like getting out there and exploring the world around you, not just on a very small closed-in scale, like, oh, let me just go down the street or around the corner to this new place. No, it's about traveling way outside of that. Like, let me go to this other city or town for a change, or let me go to another country. How about that? Or another state. That is the 9th house. So a lot of Libras may be wanting to travel during this transit, and you can have a beautiful time traveling with Venus in the 9th house. This is also an energy of foreign people, people that are different from you. So you can, yeah, okay. So foreign people, enjoying the company of foreign people, enjoying some foreign culture. That means going to some different restaurants or cultural centers or celebrations that are foreign. Could be really awesome for Libras right now. You guys may be feeling like, you know, curious and like you want to explore your world a little bit more. And the worlds of other people, like people that are different from you, which is awesome. So for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, Venus is moving into your 8th house. Okay, so this is Scorpio territory. Scorpio is the 8th sign on the zodiac wheel. So anything 8th house is going to be your home territory. You're going to be in your element, Scorpio. So Venus there is very, very beautiful. Well, it has its good and bad. And of course, Scorpio is all about extremes. So I will tell you both extremes, you know, of each side. Of each side when it comes to this Venus transit. So the good, let's start with the good stuff, Scorpio. Venus in the 8th is, when it comes to love and relationships, very passionate, super uberly passionate. You guys need that in your life, Scorpio. Scorpio craves that like crazy. So hopefully your desires of having like much more passion out of life, not just relationships, but life, can be fulfilled, because you're going to be on a quest for that big time with Venus here. Now, Venus in the 8th is also, the 8th house is also finances that you share with another person. That could mean in a business partnership. It could be in a love relationship. It doesn't matter. It's partnering with others for money. So maybe the result of a partnership with another person can be more money generated for both of you, business or with your love interest, your husband, wife, girlfriend, whatever. Maybe you guys can find ways to accumulate more finances, or maybe your partner may get a raise and their income may be boosted in some sort of way. Ooh, I'm crossing my fingers for that as a Scorpio, right along with you guys. Also, Venus in the 8th house, it can mean that money that's owed to you, because Venus does rule money too. Money that's owed to you, maybe you start, like, people actually pay you back. Or if you're owed money from a settlement, from a lawsuit, from the government, or, you know, just somewhere else other than your job, Venus is a benefic, so maybe she can help to bring that to you more easily, okay? Yeah, somebody's saying they want to go to the dark side with the Scorpio. Ooh, yeah. Scorpios will be craving that while Venus is in their 8th, so this is a little, you know, secret into what's going on in their minds during this transit. So maybe you can do that. All right, so now Sagittarius. Somebody in the chat was like, oh my God, when are we going to get to Sagittarius? We're here now, yay. So Sag, Venus in Gemini for Sag, moon, sun, ascendant, rising, whatever. This is your 7th house of relationships. Relationships with other people one-to-one. Romantic and also, you know, platonic, not romantic, okay? So this is a time where, this is another one of those transits where you're going to be looking extra attractive to people, okay? Because people are going to be seeing you in this light like, hey, they're single and ready to mingle. I always see with Venus in the 7th, I always hear when friends go through this transit that friends are trying to set them up with somebody. Like, they try to get them to, like, friends play matchmaking with you when Venus is in your 7th house sometimes, okay? I've heard that play out that way. But also just other people, you're just going to want to enjoy the fun of partnership. Sag is all about freedom. Sag can go wherever they want, wherever they please, alone, and still find a way to have fun. But when Venus is in Gemini, you're going to crave partnership. You're going to be out having fun and then wishing, like, you know what, I wish I had someone to share this with. Doesn't necessarily have to mean like, oh, I wish I had somebody to schmooze all over, ooh, you know. It's like, I wish I had someone to kind of have a conversation with, bounce ideas off of. Somebody that could be seeing what I'm seeing right now, that can kind of be a mirror, at, you know, to what I'm seeing, feeling, and doing, that I can share these experiences with. So you guys may be craving that even if you want to be single and solo. But also, if you're already in a relationship, Sagittarius, Venus in Gemini, is the time where your relationship can be a lot more sweeter. You can enjoy things more with them. You know, things would be a lot more smoother within a relationship. But also, this is just, you know, wanting to hang out with people, or people wanting to hang out with you a lot more. You know, that's Venus in the 7th house. So now on to Capricorn. So for Capricorn, Venus in Gemini, Capricorn sun, moon, and ascendant is going to be in your 6th house of work. Capricorns usually love their work. and this is going to be a beneficial energy towards work, okay? This is going to be people in the work environment maybe seeing you more in a positive light, or maybe someone can step into your work environment and assist you who's maybe a Venus ruled person, maybe a feminine person or whatever, and they can help you out more with your work duties. Stuff like that can happen with this transit. Venus in the sixth house is not only work. Yeah, and some Capricorns may start feeling like, you know what, I actually enjoy my job. I actually enjoy my work. I have no complaints right now. But also, this can be a time of focus on health. So there's a few things, good and bad, in Venus in the sixth when it comes to health. So when it comes to health, the good things of Venus transiting your health house are you may start feeling like, you know, because Venus rules the appearance and beauty, right? And if you want to feel like you look better, you want to look better and feel better at the same time. You're going to start looking at what you put in and on your body, because the sixth house rules the processes of the physical body, okay? So, yeah, this can be a time where you're focused on that. So maybe some Capricorns would be like, you know what? I'm realizing that maybe I don't have the best diet, and that's a result of that is my appearance. I'm not really happy with it. And I want to be happy with both how I look and feel. So what can I do to get there? So, you know, Venus transiting there can help you to see those things and invest in those things too. The negative side of Venus in the sixth house transit is Venus, it rules enjoyment, okay? It rules enjoyment, including food and sweet and the taste buds, anything our taste buds enjoy. And the sixth house is the house of habits. That's habits and routines that are good, or habits and routines that are not so great. So with Venus there, you can have a habit of indulgence developed. You know, maybe indulging in more like sugars and sweets and things that are not that great. But the good thing is this is a short-term transit, okay? It only lasts about a month. So, you know, try to keep those bad habits under control, Capricorn, if you indulge in things that are not that great for you. But yeah, this too shall pass, and use this energy towards good, like improving your health, improving your appearance, and improving your work too. So now onto Aquarius. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. For you guys, Venus moving into Gemini on the 5th is going to be in your 5th house. Ooh, this is a lucky, lucky transit. Lucky day. So Venus in the 5th house is fun, romance, adventure, and especially in Gemini, it's like a very curious energy, and it's all about variety. So you guys could be craving that when it comes to like your relationships. Like, this is a house of casual romantic dating, the 5th house. It's not like the committed bonds, you know, but it's just about dating around, like, you know, experiencing like fun with different people. So you guys are really going to be feeling that a lot more for Aquariuses. And Aquariuses, they really like, you know, having the freedom to do what they want anyway. So when it comes to love, this is going to have you craving that a lot more. But you will be craving like going on dates, you know, and doing some fun stuff. Maybe not even dating, but just doing fun things is Venus in the 5th. You will be paying a lot more attention to your hair, Aquarius, okay? Because the 5th house is the house of hair and self-esteem, having a very high self-esteem. So you are going to be paying attention to your looks, and especially because Venus in an air sign, a fellow air sign, it like trines your, you know, your energy. It sends a positive aspect to Aquarius. So you guys are going to be feeling lovely and like getting out and having fun, having some good times. They don't have to be romantic. They could just be the company of good people who are absolutely fun. This is the house of childlike fun. So Aquarius could be feeling like a kid again with what they want to enjoy out of life. Venus in the 5th, also the 5th house is children. So maybe, you know, if you have children and you're an Aquarius, you'll feel like getting out and enjoying, spending some free time with your kids. A lot of people in a lot of places in the world, this is the summertime and kids are out of school. So if you have some free time, you may want to like enjoy more of it with your children or having childlike fun yourself. So that's that transit for Aquarius. So last but not least is Pisces. Venus moving into Gemini for Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant, this is your 4th house. So this is the house of comfort and security. It's home, your physical home, actually, where you live, your family, who you feel is like family to you. It doesn't necessarily have to mean blood relatives. It can mean people that you trust like family, and you're around them and speak to them as much as family, and you love them like family. So Venus in the 4th house can have you craving, enjoying that so much more, like spending time with those people, spending time at home. This is another Netflix and chill transit, okay? Spending time at home, just watching movies, watching TV, you know, just anything that's in the comfort of your own home, secure and safe. Pisces are going to be craving that a lot more. This is also the house of female relatives. So maybe getting along a lot better with female relatives, wanting to reach out to them, wanting to spend time with them can be part of this transit. Also, since it's your physical home, maybe you could be craving, or not craving, but looking around your home and seeing how you can beautify it, how you can add a little sprinkle of Venus around your house, like redecorating, or just, yeah, wanting to beautify your house, buying some more candles. Pisces, we usually love candles, right? So buying some candles and you know, some little decorative cute things around your house. So yeah, that's that transit for Pisces people. It's all about home, family. This is another one of those transits where I warn people of the potential for like a bad diet if you're someone who's trying to watch your diet, because Venus in the 4th house is food that you enjoy because it's comfortable, and it's like it brings you great memories of like the past, or family recipes, which there's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a diet that you have to watch, sometimes some of those things can be very like fattening and not that good for you. So it's all about rich foods that you just really enjoy for the sake of enjoyment, but they may not be the best for you. So just letting you guys know. So that was it for Venus in Gemini for all the signs. Now there's one more transit I'm going to talk about for this week, for the 30th through the 7th, okay? There's Mercury in Leo. So Mercury, oh my gosh, Mercury is all about how we communicate, what we're thinking about, and what we do with our hands. With it being in Leo, wow. Leo is such fun energy. I'm like, wow, everything is fun right now, isn't it? Actually, no, not everything's fun. I did talk about the not so fun stuff with that Mercury and Pluto and Mars and Pluto stuff. But this is just showing you guys that as the week progresses, the energy is going to lighten up a little bit more. And that's thanks to Venus in Gemini and then Mercury in Leo. And actually, the two energies sextile one another. Don't be thinking dirty, because sextile is a positive aspect with the, an exchange of energy that is very beneficial to one another. It's complementary to one another, okay? So Mercury in Leo, Venus in Gemini, it really is going to brighten us up as a collective, hopefully, while we're separating away from those crazy, emotionally intense transits of the beginning of, well, the week that I'm talking about here. So Mercury in Leo is, our minds are going to be on maybe fun, childlike fun, doing things that bring out your inner child. What did you used to do when you were younger that made you so happy, laugh, smile, all that stuff? You may want to tap into that stuff a lot more during Mercury in Leo. Also, the Leo rules your hobbies, any creative hobbies that you have. So our minds could be going more towards those. And then Mercury is also skills of the hand. So maybe using our hands to get back into some fun hobbies. If you are a creative person, especially if you're a Leo, okay, or if you're an Aries, because Leo is your 5th house, this is a time where you will have a super power boost of creative energy, especially with your hands. If you create things, like if you make jewelry, if you make art, if you make things with your hands, this is a really beneficial transit. Also, you know, you may start noticing, and I know people will say there's always stuff like this in the news all the time, but there could be maybe a slight increase in an interest in the world of like celebrities and glamorous people, an interest in glamour itself, an interest in yeah, fashion and all that stuff, you know, anything that's big and showy. we may have more of an interest in. Our minds may be going towards that stuff a lot more. Yeah, the celebrity world, that's always like up there with what you hear about, but people's interest may go a little bit more towards that. Hold on, am I frozen? Okay, it looked like I was frozen for a second, but anyhow, yes, Mercury and Leo. Also, Mercury and Leo can have people honestly kind of bragging about things a lot more, bragging about themselves, bragging about their kids, especially. Oh my gosh. Every Leo I know that has kids, their kids are their whole world. You know, Leo's ruled by the sun and Leo rules children. So it's like that's the center of their whole world is themselves and what, you know, who they are, and also their kids that they're proud of because they're something that they created, reflections of them. So yeah, we may be more boastful, braggy, talking about our kids, you know, and there's good and bad to that, of course, as long as people don't go over the edge and go overboard to where it gets irritating and annoying and to where it's like snobbery. Snobbery can be common too with Mercury and Leo, okay, it can be, but it can be a time to where people feel very great about themselves. They have higher self-esteem, and if they don't, they're going to try to figure out how can I get there. Leo is a sign that does, it's one sign that represents like success. Success of like maybe having your own business, doing your own thing, being your own individual person and shining out there. So our minds may be going towards how can I get there? How can I be more Leo-like and feel confident and bring a lot more success to my world, you know? So yeah, so anyway, that was it for the transits that I was going to talk about this week, guys. Next, I'm going to get into the celebrity stuff just a little bit for a little while. So for those who are starting to tune out, don't forget to visit my readers page on Lada if you would like a personal reading. And also, I'm doing a webinar on July 12th with Lada. We're partnering up, and the information is also below this video for that too. I would love to see you guys there. So anyhow, now onto the coffee talk. Let me get a drink. And for those who know me, you guys know I don't drink coffee, but I do drink out of coffee cups because I think they're cool. So now onto the coffee talk, the celebrity stuff. Before I get into the couple of people whose charts I'm going to look at, I saw a video the other day of Bruno Mars. And he was performing at, I think it was the BET Awards. Oh my gosh, did anybody see it? Because he was phenomenal, phenomenal, wonderful. He showed off even more of those dance skills that I knew he was hiding. I knew he was hiding all his true dance skills because this guy used to be a Michael Jackson impersonator, okay? He's a Pisces rising. And Michael Jackson is also a Pisces rising. And so he used to be an impersonator for him. So you know he's got the dance moves. He's got also, I think, Venus and Mars together in Virgo. And Michael Jackson had Virgo energy too. So you've got that Virgo perfectionism paired with the Pisces energy of just having a talent, a natural talent for art. You get this perfectionist stuff, like art that comes out like flawlessly sometimes. So yeah, his performance was, I loved it. He incorporated more dance stuff. Yes, it was beautiful. Now the thing about Bruno Mars is also he's a Libra sun. Jupiter is in the sign of Libra right now, transiting, I don't remember what degree his sun, oh, it is around the degree of his sun. He was born October 8th. So that's like 14, 15 degrees of Libra. Yes, Jupiter is moving forward over his sun. So it is really time for him to shine, okay? Yes. So if you haven't seen that performance from Bruno Mars, it's all on YouTube and everything. So you can go take a look at it. It's wonderful, fantastic, talented. Now, I was going to talk about, by viewer request, Johnny Depp. Somebody asked me to look into Johnny Depp, and I think it's because he was in the news recently for making a comment or a joke about the president that a lot of people were offended by and found as inappropriate and took very seriously and were super offended. So people are like, what's going on with Johnny Depp? And then I took a look back at Johnny Depp. He was actually in the news like this past year because he had a divorce, very nasty divorce. And his ex-wife was claiming a lot of things. And there was like videos that came out that showed his behavior. And so, yeah, I think maybe that's why somebody asked about him last week. Like, what's going on with him? Yes, I love Johnny too. Johnny Depp is a beautiful looking man, and he's a Gemini, and it's easy to fall for those Geminis because they're so charming. They're funny, they're witty, they are knowledgeable of a lot of different things. So yes, I like him too, but, oh, and also thank you, King John. He was also in the news recently because he is broke and he won't let go of his private jet. Thank you. There's some stuff he will not let go of. So what is making him not able to let go of these things, okay? So first of all, and I'm going to show you guys his chart for my fellow astrology buffs here so I can point to what you guys are looking at, to what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to screen share really quick, guys. And we're going to take a look at Johnny Depp real quick. What's going on with this guy? Why is he such a clinger with stuff? And why was he making those comments like that? Okay, so here is Johnny's chart. So we all know Johnny is a Gemini, okay, Gemini sun, but that's not all he is astrologically. He's also a Leo rising. So I feel like Leo rising, this is one of the reasons why he doesn't want to let go of this flashy item that he has as far as this jet, okay? Oh, but getting back to the comment about the president that people were offended by, the guy is a Gemini, okay? You cannot always take things that Gemini say so seriously. You really can't. They say things just to say it in the moment. Whatever's on their mind, they just spit it out. And they are jokesters. They crack jokes all the time. So I am pretty sure he wasn't really serious in meaning what he said about the president. I am positive. He was just having a Gemini moment. He said that stuff while, I think he did say that stuff while planets were still in Gemini, if I'm not mistaken. But if that was true, then it's Gemini season, the season of the jokester, the trickster. You know, so that's why he said that stuff. It should really not be taken that seriously, in my humble opinion, and just with the knowledge of astrology. Okay. Now, the thing about his behavior from last year, like with being abusive and everything with his ex-wife, well, look at here. Mars, the planet of action and masculinity, he has it in a conjunction with Uranus, which causes people to act out erratically a lot of times and suddenly do weird things that are unexpected. And he also has it in a tight conjunction, well, not very tight, but yeah, in a conjunction with Pluto. Pluto is a planet that it rules the dark side of life, okay? So the actions he takes can sometimes be dark. And Pluto can rule violence, like really bad violence. And Mars can rule aggression, so he can act out aggressively and violently and do unexpected, weird, shocking things sometimes. So as much as I love Johnny, I do feel like the allegations against him were not false. As far as if he was provoked by his ex-wife, I didn't look at her chart, which I probably should have, but she could have provoked him. She could have known that he has these tendencies and done some things to like poke at him, you know what I mean? But who knows? We're not really in their relationship or in their world. We weren't in the room. All we know is speculations. But just giving the truth here of his chart, this conjunction here can equal somebody that can act out at times in the ways that he was accused of. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. Now, why won't he let go of the stuff, the private jet and everything? Well, yeah, back to this. He's a Leo rising. Leo's got to be flashy. They got to have their things that like they're proud of, that show their status, you know. Also, he's a Capricorn moon, and Pluto is near the moon right now. Pluto is about 18 degrees. So it is near the degree of his moon, if this birth time is correct, which I think it may be. And Pluto causes people to be kind of paranoid at times. And the moon is all about holding on to the past, how you hold on to the past. It's about memories. I heard that Johnny, he has a lot of collectible, like a lot of like memorabilia, memory stuff. Well, Capricorn is all about the past, history and being a historian. antiques and vintage things. So he's comfortable with those things, which is the moon. That's why he collects them. The moon being in a conjunction with Pluto right now is why he's like paranoid about letting that stuff go. But also the very last thing I'm gonna point out here, Mercury and Venus in Taurus. So the good thing about this conjunction is this is why he has a very nice voice, okay, and why he's a smooth speaker. Besides being a Gemini, this equals a smooth talker, smooth speaker, nice voice. So, but also Mercury is your thoughts, and Venus is what you enjoy, and Taurus is very stubborn to the point to where, honestly, a heavy dose of Taurus energy can make someone close to being a hoarder or make them a hoarder, like a collector. And up here in the 10th house of the same things that Capricorn rules, classic things, vintage things. He doesn't want to let go of that stuff because he's a very stubborn Leo rising with planets in Taurus, okay? So yeah, that's just explaining some things about his behavior really quickly here. I heard he like did something to where his finger was cut off and all this craziness. You know what? I have to look back at his transits in detail, but I have a feeling that the eclipses that were happening in the sign of Virgo the last year and a half, previous to this year, probably could have like provoked some of this, some lessons of this this conjunction that he has here. So that's just my little take on that. Not going to get too lengthy into this stuff, but someone had requested him to talk about him. So yeah, let me see the chat. What you guys talking about? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, he's suing people. Interesting. Nasty divorce. Yes. Honestly, like I said, I love Johnny too, but he does have violent tendencies, guys. He really does. The chart doesn't lie, okay? If only we can take astrologers to court with us sometimes, right? To show the tendencies and point them out on the screen. Look at this conjunction. You're going to tell me this man ain't violent with the Mars, Pluto, Uranus? If only we could. Maybe in the future. I don't know. That's why I'm here. I'm on a mission to help teach this stuff so people could see the truth of people's behavior and everything else. Their chart doesn't lie, okay? So next up, somebody else had requested Amanda Bynes for me to look at her, and I'm like, oh, why Amanda Bynes? I guess she's back in the news because she is trying to make a comeback. For those who don't know who Amanda Bynes is a former child star. She was on Nickelodeon during the 90s and the early 2000s, I believe. So she was a star at an early age. And then she started acting really bizarre, like several years ago, like a few years back. She started acting really bizarre. And people were like, what in the world's going on with her? Why her? Well, somebody requested her, and I'm fulfilling the request of my audience, okay? And also, yeah, she is back in the news because she's trying to make a comeback. She's cleaned up her act. At least it appears to be that she cleaned up her act. And she disappeared for a while, but now she's back. So people were curious about her. So that's why I'm talking about her. So Amanda Bynes, let's take a look at her chart really quickly here. And why was she acting bizarre during like the, early 2010s, during that time frame? What was going on with her? Well, this isn't going to take long because I only have really one culprit, major culprit that I see. And that is the planet Uranus, because Uranus, it causes people to act weird and wacky at times. Honestly, it does. That's one of the negatives of Uranus. People want to be so outside of the box and against the grain that they do strange things. So during the time of her sudden shot into fame, when she was very young, she's an Aquarius moon. She has Aquarius up here in her career house. So Uranus was transiting through the sign of Aquarius around, the mid to late 90s and into the early 2000s. So this is why the quick, the fame, all this like fame and stuff happened for her because of that. But also Uranus transiting over the moon. The moon is your minds, and think of Luna, the word for moon, lunatic, loony, all that stuff. your emotions, which the moon rules, can kind of make you act in crazy ways sometimes if you allow your mind to be flooded with emotion versus logic. Okay, so that's what the moon rules. Uranus transiting over that. Yeah, that's why she was kind of wacky in her skits, and you know, she's already naturally a wacky person, but she was extra wacky back then because of Uranus transiting over this area of her chart right here. So when Uranus was in the later degrees of Pisces, it hit her Mercury. Mercury is how you think as well, and how you speak, how you communicate, even like writing things on the internet, which she did start writing a bunch of bizarre things on her Twitter, and she was wearing wigs and all this crazy stuff, right? Her mind was like being buzzed and zapped by Uranus. So she was thinking crazy things, saying crazy things. Next, Uranus moved into the sign of Aries. Uranus has been in Aries since 2010 for a short period of time, and then 2011, and it's still in Aries. So when Uranus moves into the same sign as your sun, guys, that's when people can either get that buzz and zap of Uranian energy and just be really outlandish, out there, wacky, weird, crazy, do unexpected stuff, like wear wigs that don't even look good on you and are falling off practically and are nappy in the back. Yes, Uranus on the sun can do that to some people. They can react that way. Or it can make people just be more rebellious, want to do their own thing. She did start getting more rebellious too, and like got piercings in her face, and she's like, I'm gonna pose for Maxim magazine and like all this stuff, right? But actually also Amanda was going through her Saturn return. She's still in her Saturn return. Her Saturn is in Sagittarius. Saturn is still in Sagittarius right now. So during her Saturn return, she had to start cleaning up her act. She went back to school, which Sagittarius rules school, higher education, college, and all that good stuff. So she started going back to college. I think she graduated. I only looked very little into her, to be honest, just enough to be able to do this presentation. So she went back to school. I think she did finish fashion school and all that good stuff. So her Saturn return came around, made her clean up her act and stop doing the drugs, okay? Because Uranus on the sun, for some people, it can make them do drugs. They just always have this constant buzz of nervous energy and feeling of needing change and needing to do something different, that they may do things like that, you know, unfortunately. So good for her. You know, she's in Aries. Uranus is now in the later degrees of Aries and is going to continue to move out of Aries. It'll completely move out of there in about a year. So she's still got another year of Uranus buzzing in the same sign as her sun. And she's got until the end of December 2017 for her Saturn return to be complete. But then she's going to have some 8th house stuff to work on. So she's probably going to have some demons come back to haunt her of her past that she's going to have to work through with further therapy. That's just my prediction for her. So that was the thing on Amanda Bynes here, just discussing her chart for a celebrity example. So yeah, guys, that was it. But anyhow, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Drugs, yes, drugs are bad. Okay, if you were going through a Uranus transit too, hey, be careful, because you can start feeling like you really need something new and crazy in your life, and you know, just don't go that route. That's my advice. All right. Yeah, she said she's gonna start doing TV again, and once Uranus hits her Venus, which is next year, she may want to come back and start, you know, doing some things that are, you know, in her wacky nature, but maybe they're good for her this time. And she was diagnosed with being bipolar. And hello, she's a Gemini rising. I mean, not saying all Geminis are bipolar, but Gemini is a sign of bi. Bi means two sides. So they're very commonly diagnosed with that. But that's a whole other topic, a whole other video. But anyhow, that was it for today, guys, for my coffee talk / weekly astrology. And thank you guys so much for joining me. And once again, if you would like a personal reading, you want me to look at your chart and see what's going on, if you got wacky stuff going on, or even if you've got good things and you want validation of things, whatever, go to my readers page on Lada, and you can schedule a reading on Skype or record it. And don't forget about the career webinar that me and Lada are doing on July 12th. I'm so excited about it. Worked so hard on it. The seats are actually been selling out really fast, and we've only got a couple more weeks, so definitely check it out and go register for that. I'd love to see all of you there. We are doing Q&A. Okay, we're going to be doing some Q&A during that webinar, and it will be pretty long. There's a lot of information that we're going to be giving, okay, to help people look at career and stuff. So once again, oh yeah, somebody's okay. If you guys are watching this in the replay and also the chat, go let me know of any other celebrities that you would like me to look at maybe next week. Anybody that's in the news or that you find interesting or whatever. Let me know in the chat while it's still up for a little bit, and also below the recorded process recording of this video. Who do you want me to talk about? Who do you want me to look into next week? All right, guys, so take care. Thank you so much. I love you guys all for tuning in every single week with me, and we will chat next week. Have a great week. Peace.